All right, so someone in the comments asked, how do I file a complaint as a veteran if I think I'm being discriminated against in employment? So first of all, the law that's supposed to protect veterans from employment discrimination is known as VEVRAA, the Vietnam-Era Veterans Readjustment and Assistance Act of 1974, codified in U.S. law at Title 38, Section 4212. That law, however, only protects certain veterans. You're not eligible for a complaint and protection if you are a peacetime, non-disabled veteran, if you have no service-connected disability, if you haven't served in combat, and if you have not served, if you were discharged more than a year ago, VEVRAA does not apply to you. VEVRAA excludes protections for 4.2 million veterans, peacetime, non-disabled veterans. That's 20% of the veteran population who are denied the civil right of employment protection from discrimination and harassment simply because that's how the law was written. However, if you are eligible under VEVRAA, you're known as a protected veteran. And you can go to the Department of Labor's enforcement agency, known as the Office of Federal Contracts Compliance Program, or OFCCP for short. You can go to them and you can file a complaint if you are a protected veteran, but you also have to meet another requirement. Your employer has to meet a requirement. It has to be a federal contractor. And to be considered a federal contractor, your employer has to have received at least $100,000 from federal grants, loans, etc., in the last year. And certain employers are always going to meet that requirement. Defense contractors are clearly going to have contracts with the government. The other big one is universities, which in my case, which was the case with me. I was working in university, and universities have federal financial assistance programs, Pell Grants, subsidized loans. They're always going to be getting money from the federal system, and so they are going to be part of VEVRAA, subject to VEVRAA. So if you are a protected veteran, if your employer is a contractor, then you're eligible to make a complaint with the OFCCP. However, you should know, and I've posted this elsewhere, I'll put this graph up to remind you as I speak, that veterans are not going to be believed. Statistically, the Department of Labor receives more complaints from veterans than any other protected category that's in its jurisdiction. Veterans, over 800 veterans have filed a complaint since 2004. But on the other hand, they're going to disbelieve you. They're going to deny your rights as a veteran more frequently, up to twice as frequently as other statutes that it's supposed to be employing and protecting certain groups. So you aren't always protected. Your employer is not always under jurisdiction. And even if you do apply, they're probably not going to believe you. It sucks, but that's the reality that we live in right now. And we should change that. You can go to gijustice.com and look at VEVRAA. You can also look at the military civil rights bill that I proposed, I passed around in the 116th Congress to update VEVRAA, to update other loopholes that service members and veterans are falling through. So I hope you educate yourself. I hope you talk to your legislator. And frankly, I hope that news organizations will actually cover the disproportionate mistreatment of veterans by the Department of Labor and the ignorance and silence on the part of Congress to actually take action.